Staying on the subject of health, there's a lot of conversation about calories and training fasted. Full disclosure, now that my daughter's out of school, okay, I don't have to rush to get the kids to the places where they got to go, right? Son, ABA, daughter was in school, vice versa. Now I have the time to eat breakfast again. Now, eating food and training is a good thing because you get energy from the food source once it digests into your bloodstream to help you push through a workout. You're fueling your workout. But training fasted has its perks too, and I'm going to tell you why. If I train fasted, I could get to the gym, or in my case this week down in my garage, which is my gym. I can get there and just start workout quicker without having to worry about waiting on food to digest, number one. And number two, depending on what workout that I'm doing, I don't feel nauseous during the workout. And there's a reason why you feel nauseous. If you have food that's still digesting in your stomach and then going to your intestines, blood is getting put in that area as well because the organ's being active during that time frame. So you might find that you're a little bit nauseous, right? When you're doing, like, say, burpees or crunches and you had a breakfast 2 hours prior to this. Training fasted, I don't have that problem. Is there a trade-off in strength? Not really. Because if you eat at night before you go to bed, you eat you a healthy meal, the muscle stores and stuff is going to be full. If you eat enough carbs before you go to bed, stuff like that, to be able to produce the energy in the muscles from the stored, glycogen in the muscle, right? The food that's currently being digested while you're training is also putting, if you eat carbs in the morning, glucose in the blood system. So that means it's sugar in the actual bloodstream as you are, of course, training. That in tune can give you more energy as well because it's sugar being pumped through the blood, as you're also training, as well as depleting your glycogen stores. Now, of course, there's always at some point in time a level of blood sugar that's in you constantly, and it's insulin's job to help regulate that. That's another conversation for another day. But what I'm trying to say is, as you train, your blood sugar should go up because you are training. You're breaking down muscle tissue that's putting more, blood directly into the bloodstream, and so of course that's going to uptick, cause your pancreas to have to make more insulin to regulate all that stuff. But it should still help you push through a pretty decent workout. Sugar is key, if that makes sense. However, the calories come into play because people think training fasted and burning calories put you in a negative calorie state. So I'll give you an example. 0. Let's say you burn 800 calories before you eat your first meal. That don't mean I'm negative 800 in the hole. What that means is, let's say I'm 173 pounds this morning and I ate breakfast this morning, full disclosure, because I'm training legs today. I'm 173 fucking pounds. So that means on average, if I want to maintain my weight, somewhere around 1550 to about 1900 calories I can get away with. I'm not going to eat 1550 every day. I'm not going to eat 1900 every day. But the overall average of blended somewhere to around 1800 calories. So therefore, I'm going to maintain my fucking weight. Okay? Let's say, though, however, I burned 800 calories before my first meal. What that did essentially was take my maintenance level and moved it to the right. So now I can eat up to 2500 calories. And they'll put me back at maintenance for the day. Why? Because I burned 800 calories. The body's trying to pull that energy from somewhere. Of course, it's going to try to turn to fat stores throughout the day if I don't meet that new maintenance level criteria for that day. That's how that works. There's no such thing as, I'm negative 800 in the hole. No, you took your maintenance level because you burned all those calories. Now you can get away with eating additional 800 calories back. So that means now you can eat up to, 25, in some cases 2600 calories. Now let's say I ate my maintenance level before I worked out. All right. Okay. Well, I'm at maintenance now. I ate 1,700 calories. So I know I'm at maintenance. But now I go to the gym and I burn 800 calories. Well, then you still got 900 calories that you netted for that day. But you essentially created a 800 calorie deficit, if that makes sense. You see what I'm getting at? So now if you don't eat anything else, you worked out and you just hydrate the rest of the fucking day, you don't eat anything else, there's an 800 calorie deficit that goes into the next day. Right? And then you start back over at 0 after 24 hours and you repeat, you rinse and repeat. Right? Or you go to bed at night, the body, still has to function at night. So the spare 900 calories that you done stored up, because it's spare calories, you're in the deficit, but it's spare calories. The body's breaking that down and burning it as your body's repairing itself. So that 900 calories may get down to about 6 to maybe 500 in the morning. So you wake up with 500 calories on your person the next damn day. So you have to understand that's how calories fucking work. Now throughout the day, just living, you're burning calories. So that 500 may actually be a little bit lower than that, because if you stay up for 3 or 4 hours, eat nothing else, you might still burn just 200 calories just by just basic moving around. So let's say at 997, then you burn say 6 at night, so 100 calories, 0. It should all get burnt up essentially. But some people don't sleep, so they're burning more calories because they're up, and so then they have a meal and then realize, well, maybe I ain't burn up all my calories. And don't nobody know this. That's why the mirror is your best friend. You just got to keep in mind how much you should eat. And this what dictates how you feel the next day, if that makes sense. If you worked out, didn't eat anything else, but you beat your body up, you hydrated, you burned all the calories out, the next day you might be too fatigued to even eat as much. You might eat a little bit less. See? So the next day, oh, it's back at maintenance level. So, okay, I'm back at 1,700. But you might only eat 1,300 because you're so fatigued, because you didn't give your body enough nutrients to really fully repair itself. So you may not eat that much. You may just eat 15. That's another deficit for you. That day, 200 calories, but it's a deficit, right? The longer you stay in that deficit, you'll start to lose weight. But then some days you have what they call a rebound effect. Day 2, you might be starving all of a sudden. The body wants more food. So you may eat 2,000 calories. Now you somewhat in a 300 calorie surplus. If you stay in that range for too long, you'll end up gaining weight. So it's understanding calories, but there's no such thing as negative calories, guys. Get that out your head. Eliminate that. There's no such thing as that. There's only calories. If you eat nothing that day, you ate 0 calories. That means you're in a severe deficit for that fucking day. If all you do is just go on a water fast for 3 or 4 days, which is not recommended, 1 day is okay, 2 days is okay. After 2 days, you need to eat something. But however, if you do that for 2 days, that's a pound. You'll lose about a pound of muscle or fat. Most likely some muscle, because it only takes like 26 to about 2,700 calories to fuel a muscle, depending on how big you is. Okay, some cases it could just take 3,000 calories to build muscle tissue. So understanding that, if you don't eat them for 2 days and you burn in 2 days 6,000 calories, well, that's almost 2 pounds. That's a pound and a half. That pound and a half comes somewhere, some muscle, some fat. So understanding all of that, you can manipulate calories to your advantage and fuel your workout and fuel your recovery. If you're trying to build muscle, you need to be in some type of surplus. Doing that maintenance is only recommended if you're trying to come down from being very fat and you're not trying to over restrict yourself on a diet. Okay. So let's say you're 260 pounds, you're 5'11", you're a very fat guy and you're trying to get in shape. Of course, cutting your calories down from 3,000 calories to 2,000 would be the first thing I would do, right? And you'll probably get down to about, let's say, 200 to 190 pounds. At that point in time, I would recommend you probably drop your calories down to about 17, maybe 1,800 calories and just ride there. If you're 5'11", 180 would probably be peak, maybe 175. Ride right there, right? And stay in a slight surplus, no more than 300 calories, to then take that fat and make more muscle. We'll start to really work on muscle building at that point and do what they call a body recomposition. But it's hard to stay and it's keeping you at maintenance, but you're like 300 calories north of maintenance, but it's keeping you there at maintenance pretty damn much. Because some days, like I said, you may not eat that much. You might eat 300 calories less or 300 calories more. That's how body recomp work. You're just trying to build your physique at that body weight with those calories. So high on proteins, but keeping your calories at a certain range. But if you're trying to build muscle, then you need to be around 500 calories of surplus daily up until you start to see the muscle that you want, and then slowly walk it back to about 300 calories. For me, the extreme case, 750 should be everybody's cutoff point. Because with 750, yes, you'll build muscle quick, but you're going to build some fat as well. And if you don't want that much fat, don't go past 750 calories for a surplus. Same if you're losing weight. Don't go south or north of a 750 calorie deficit, because if you do that, you're going to lose more muscle as well as fat. So 750 on either way of the spectrum is my recommendation. 300, somewhere in there, that's maintenance to me. 300 either way, that's maintenance. Because like I said, you're not going to, unless you're tracking your calories every day, you're not going to lose 300 calories every day. Some days you're going to eat 300 more. You're going to be right back at maintenance, and then you'll fluctuate. That's recomping. But you get between 300 and 500 calories on either side, you're going to either build muscle or start to lose weight. And then you get between 500 and 750, and then yeah, you're going to lose weight and build muscle, but you're going to either lose muscle and fat at the same time in that type of deficit, or you're going to build muscle and add some fat in that type of surplus. So it's just understanding what you're trying to do. For me right now, I'm slowly cutting my calories down because I'm getting ready to transition to a cut down phase. So I've been eating about 700 calorie surplus for the last 3 weeks. So now I'm going to start cutting that down. And so after this week, next week, I'll probably eat in a 500 calorie, surplus. Then I'll bring it down after next week to a 300 calorie surplus. And then I'll bring it down to about maybe even 150 for a surplus. No more than 3, but up in my cardio and keep my protein high while cutting my carbs down, because I'm trying to cut, if that makes sense. I want my muscles to show. So I'm trying to cut. And I'm going to do that all of June. And then July, I have my cut where I want it. And then I will slowly start to introduce, after July, right, proteins, more fats, more calories in my diet to start to get ready to bulk up for the winter, build muscle, and then I repeat the process again for spring. That's how I do it. And that's what works for me. So, with all that being said, that's my explanation on calories. Carbohydrates fuel your workout, but there's a fine line with carbs. I can't stress that enough. Carbs is essential if you're trying to be a performance athlete. You need carbohydrates. It's energy. And just where you get it from. You get it from sweets or from fruit and vegetable sources. It's where you get it from, right? If you're fat, I can't stress this enough, lower your carbs. Why? If you're giving the body the fuel that it needs to perform a workout, then you're restricting the body from turning to fat to burn it for energy during the workout, if that makes sense. Now, if you stay in a deficit, yeah, you're going to lose weight. But if you constantly keep giving yourself carbohydrates, you'll lose that weight slowly. Why? For every gram of carb you eat is 3 grams of water. So carbs will bloat you with water. So the scale might not be changing because you're full of what we like to call water weight. That can get discouraging. So you go on a low carb fucking diet for a while. You come from eating the average American, and if it's 2,000 calories for the average American, out of that 2,000 calories, they basically want 1,500 to be carbs. That is like 400 grams of fucking carbs. So if you break it down to 100 grams of carbs, maybe even 75 grams of carbs, because you got a lot of fat on your ass that the body's going to take and convert into sugar as it is, right? Then that means you'll start to lose weight fast. You'll drop a lot of water weight, then you'll start to actually lose weight because the body is turning to the fat stores. But if you're constantly giving yourself 200 grams of carbs, even though you stay in deficit, right? Then the body is not going to want to turn to that fat fast. It's going to turn to what's already in your sugar, in your bloodstream for energy. So that can prolong your weight loss. And eating a lot of carbs will make you be hyperglycemic, and that will make you want to eat more fucking food, because a rise in blood sugar a lot of times will cause you to want to eat. Even when your blood sugar drops, you get hypoglycemic. you going to eat something because your blood sugar low. And what we going to run to? Some with sugar in it to try to get it back, to raise it back up to a normal level. So you have to be mindful of all of that. But my advice is cut your carbs down if you're trying to lose weight. You need to. Focus on hydration. Focus on, if you just can't, zero sugar stuff is the way to go. Just understand it's going to have some of the same effects as eating regular sugar because it's just what it does to the brain chemically. So, excuse me, once you get used to that, if you can take your cravings and not go for the real thing, you'll be fine. But you have to cut the carbs down. And I would recommend that you don't eat carbs until you go to bed because, like I said, that rise in sugar. When the sugar hits, sometimes we get sleepy after we eat a big meal. You be hyperglycemic a lot of times. That can make you sleepy. So therefore, you're going to want to rest. If that makes sense. So you eat it before bedtime. Yes, it gets into your bloodstream, but guess what? If you don't eat too much of it and you stay in a deficit, you're going to lose weight, but you went to sleep and you're not technically up running around want to eat more food because your sugar done got high. If that make a lot of sense. So I just want to say all that to say this. Understanding calories, understanding carbs is the key to losing weight. If it's building muscle, understanding calories, understanding carbohydrate use, and protein use is beneficial on muscle building. But we'll cover that topic for another day because there's new studies coming out about training muscles 3 or 4 times a week now. You can train one muscle for a week if you know how to train it. If you do 3 sets on biceps today and then come back the next day and do very lightweight, and then come back the next day and do 2 sets with moderate weight, and then go back the next day and do another 3 sets with lightweight, and then do that again on the 4th day. The 5th day, believe it or not, you might can take a pretty decent size heavy weight and curl it for 2 sets. And then just in the last 2 days with light reps, light sets, that is it. That bicep is fried for the whole week. You don't touch for 2 weeks. Well, that bicep is going to grow. You fried the fuck out of it. But that's training one body part for a whole week. That can get boring. But the more you hit a muscle, right, and then you actually give it some time after a few days of hitting it, it will grow. Stimulate the muscle. Don't annihilate the muscle. Now, I learned that from Jeff Cavalier. You want to stimulate it for growth. Not annihilate. If you tear it up too bad, it's not going to grow. If anything, it can actually shrink because you've been abusing it too much. That's called muscle atrophy. So, stimulate the muscle. Don't annihilate the muscle. We'll discuss that in another video. Hope you guys enjoy. It's time to go get my squats in now. I done gave y'all 3 videos. Now I got to film this, and then I get done with that. I got to upload other videos. I got to upload my trip to Florida. And then I got to talk about the Diddy shit because Diddy's in trouble now with the apology video. And then, you know, it's a lot more shit I'm talking about. Even the transgender and sports shit. So, a lot of shit that I'm trying to cover. Trying to get everything caught up. So, hope you guys enjoy. I am out. Guys, peace.